I'm a makeup artist and I have over 5 years of experience in makeup artistry. So today I'm going to create Charlotte Tilbury inspired soft glam look. So first I'm going to clean the skin to make sure there is no dust over the skin. After that I'm using hydrating spray to give a freshness to the skin. Now I'm using gel based moisturizer according to her skin type. I'm using a Smashbox photo finish primer. I'm using a darker shade of a concealer to hide the flaws on his skin. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, matching his skin tone. So before buffing, again I'm using the setting spray to make sure the skin is properly hydrated and it will not look cakey. So now I'm using a cream contour to give her a glowy and a bronzy look. So here, this is how I'm doing it. I'm not directly applying the product into the skin. First, I'm using it on my brush and then slowly infusing the product into the skin. So it will not look patchy and give her a flawless base. Now we are using liquid blush. So I'm directly applying this on her cheek. We cannot take it through all over the temple because that looks really ugly. So whatever the product left over on my brush, I'm just using it a little bit on the nose to give her a sun-kissed look. So now I'm using a concealer to highlight the area of the face that will snatch her face. So these are the points I generally prefer to use concealer. Here I am using banana powder. Always make sure that your concealer is not creased. So here I am using the baking method because you can see how I prefer to do my base first and after that I do my eyes. So I don't want any fallout on my base. So I'm doing the baking method. Now I'm using a little bit of concealer on her eyelid to make sure that will look even. So for my eye look, I'm going to use this Runway Ready palette from Morphe. So I'm not setting my concealer as I'm going to use the powder based eyeshadow, so that will already set the base of the eye. So very first I'm going to take a lighter shade to make the hue for the crease. the shade, and I'm applying it on the corner of the eyelid. And for this brush, I'm using to deposit the product first, and I am using another brush for the blending of the product. So from the corner, I'm blending it outward, so it will give a snatched eye look. And from the inside, I'm blending it from the inward in a circular motion to make sure every color look great. And I'm taking the lighter shade to deposit in the corner of the eye. I'm using a Kajal pencil for my eyeliner. I'm giving it a soft, smoky look. So always apply your kajal between on the center of your eyelid, and then just blend it from the corner downwards. For the last effect, I'm going to use the soft glam from Anastasia. You can see how beautiful shades I have. I'm using the shade Mulberry from Anastasia. You can see our eyes are looking beautiful and it's almost complete. So the final step I'm doing is applying mascara. So I'm using a brown shade to outline the lips. I'm using a lipstick from the MAC Cosmetics. I'm keeping my lips subtle and lip gloss which have shimmery particles. My face is almost set and my eyes are almost done. I'm just using a powder brush to dust off the powder. Now you can see how beautiful, blurred and snatched look it's giving. Now I'm using liquid highlighter. I know we have already done the powder base, so we cannot use the liquid highlighter, but I personally use it in my way, and I use the technique that gives literally sheer and a glass skin effect. So it's totally matter how you are playing with the product on powder. You can only do it if you are professional. Always clean your brows first, because while doing base, obviously the product goes onto the brows also. So always clean your brows first before enhancing it. As you can see, her brows are naturally bushy, so I'm using a brow gel to set it perfectly and giving it a natural look. Now I'm using the hydrating spray to make sure my makeup doesn't look cakey and stay hydrated. And after that, I'm using this fixing spray, so the makeup will be long lasting and doesn't mold, doesn't melt down. It's almost done. Thank you for watching.